Hello, and welcome to the first episode of my new movie review series, formerly known as my vlog. This is one half of what the vlog was all about. I'm going to using this game, the movies, as just a platform to give you something visual. But if you rather just have the audio, you can. Well, I guess you can just not look at the video and just listen, because this is mostly just about me talking. I'm gonna review some different movies in this series, and I'll always be talking about 5 movies. This is not a top 5, so this doesn't mean that there's from a order of in which I'm listing the movies does not have anything to do with how good they are. These are not the 5 best of a topic or genre either. These are just 5 good movies, or 5 movies that has something to do with the subject of which I am speaking. And today's subject, as you've probably already seen by title, is film noir. Film noir is a movie genre that was mostly popular in the US in the 40s and 50s. Uh, the topic of the movies are mostly crime and it's a kind of thriller genre, I guess you can call it. Dark, kind of twisted, some plots twist. People who are dead are not dead anyway, and people are not who they seem they are. It's a really interesting genre that unfortunately died out in the late 50s, but actually by the time that the genre was dying out in Hollywood, Europe kind of brought it back to life, especially in France. But we are gonna focus mostly on English, well, only on English-speaking film noir movies. The reason I'm not saying American is because one of these is actually from Great Britain, and so but let's just get started with the movies. The first movie is called The Big Clock. It's from 1948. It's about a man who works for a company, and there's a murder in the building where he works. And his boss wants him gone, wants the main character gone, so he gets framed for the murder. Now the main character now has to kind of uh, has to prove his innocence, but there's a lockdown, so he can't leave the building. So at the same time in which he's trying to prove his innocence, he's also trying to avoid getting captured. This is a very, very interesting movie. Really great acting and great plot twists here and there. And one really interesting thing, you see a very young Harry Morgan in the movie. Harry Morgan was the second colonel in the MASH series, so that was kind of interesting to see. I recognized him right away. He has some really noticeable features, facial features. So, but The Big Clock from 1948, amazing movie. Next one is Laura from 1944, directed by Otto Preminger. Really great director. Funny thing about Otto Preminger is that he actually played Mr. Freeze in the 1960s Batman series. That's kind of weird and a really great director, and then he plays Mr. Freeze. Awesome, but weird. Laura is about a woman being murdered, and the cops start to investigate the murder. Now, this might be a little bit of a spoiler, but not much. It turns out that it wasn't the main character Laura that was murdered, but another person. But they decide to kind of keep her being dead. As I mean, they decide to keep the world believing that she's dead because to investigate who did it. It's a real great movie starring, among others, a young Vincent Price. Next up, we have The Third Man, and this is the British movie. This is a British movie with American actors taking place in Italy. Actually, it's not an American actor. It's starring Orson Welles, among others, and he's actually, I think, Irish. Obviously British, Irish or British, but all the other accents, I think actually a lot of them are American. But this is a movie where a guy comes to, I think it's Italy, isn't it Italy? I can't remember. He comes to Italy, and to work with his friend, but as he comes down there, the friend is dead. The main character decides to investigate this murder, and he finds out that even though no one mentions it, there was a third man at the crime scene, a third witness. Well, it wasn't actually. It wasn't a murder. He was. They tell that he was run down by a car, and there was a third man helping him at the accident scene. But no one, third man was not mentioned in any police report, and most of the witnesses don't mention that there was a third man. But more and more that the main character talks to, starts to mention this third man, and the main character is convinced that this in fact was not murder. Orson Welles, even though he has a very small um, role in this movie, he's actually one of the main credit. I think is the top billed on the character on actors of the actors in the movie. I think it was because he was at the time in 1949 he had already established himself as a great actor and a great man. Um, Next up, we have The Big Heat, which is from 1953. The movie is a movie about a cop investigating a murder of another cop, and he has a feeling that something is not as it seems. And that feeling is confirmed when one of his witnesses, one of the people he has interviewed, suddenly turned up dead as well. He's now convinced that there is a lot of corruption in this town, and he tries to get rid of this corruption. Which is, of course, not hard because this corruption runs really high up, and he sees himself against enemies, and that is almost untouchable. This movie stars a very young Lee Marvin, Lee Marvin is mostly, at least for me, known for his roles in war movies and westerns and stuff like that. But this is where he plays a gangster type character in this movie, and he plays it amazingly. He is evil. He is a cruel and mean bastard. And if for nothing else, see the movie for Lee Marvin's character because it's amazing. But this is an amazing movie all in all. So you should watch it anyway, even if it's not for Lee Marvin. The last of the movies is probably one of the most known film noir. It is The Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart in the lead. And this is a movie about a detective played by Humphrey Bogart who is trying to investigate the murder of his partner, and also by also trying to find out why find a priceless statuette called the Maltese Falcon. Now, what's really interesting about this movie is the very eccentric criminals. There's three very eccentric criminals that have all played amazing. Can't remember who played them, but this movie has what this movie really shows is there's a really dark sense of humor in this. I mean, this is a serious subject, but it's funny at the same time. It's all well played. All the characters go well together. There's a sort of harmony in it all that just you don't see much these days. One of the things that all these movies have in common is amazing dialogue, and it's kind of sad to see the dialogue in movies. In a lot of mainstream movies are kind of dying out. It's becoming less and less important, and when there's dialogue, it's always I don't know. It's subjects that you really don't care about, and they always. I think I don't know. I'm not gonna start talking about all this right now, but hey, stop peeping in through the window, dude. Jesus Christ, what is he doing? What the fuck? Dude! Get away from there. But yeah, these film noir has some. There's been seen film noir type movies such as The Usual Suspects. Seven has some film noir. Dark City, which is a sci-fi but with a lot of film noir themes. So I hope it's a genre that will be revisited again because it's just amazing. And I could mention more movies, but I have limited myself to 5 movies per video. So just to list them up again: The Big Clock, Laura, The Third Man, The Big Heat, and The Maltese Falcon. All great film noir movies. And if you have the opportunity to watch these, you should do it because this is cinema as at its best. This is really great dialogue, great acting, great suspense, and that is the key word right here. The key thing: suspense. You never really know what's going on until the very end, which I love. Um, this has been a kind of a chaotic video, but this has been my first video of these kind. I know I've done game reviews before, but I'm trying to.
8 intrepid pilots today announced their intention to fly around the world in planes.
Okay.
Hoping to utilize
Shut up.
cutting-edge aviation technology that'll propel their crafts through the sky at speeds nearing 7 miles per hour.
Do you mind shutting up? I'm trying to make a video here.
Time for lunch if they get up extra early and skip
What the fuck?
breakfast.
Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to make this a little more than my previous video, a little more detailed on the movies than my vlog series did. So this is the first attempt I'm making one of these videos. Hope it hasn't been too chaotic. But yeah, film noir. Go watch it. You can look up more film noirs on IMDb. Or just search on Google because there's a lot of film noir, and I haven't seen all of them. Of course, I haven't actually seen that many, but it's a genre that I'm really starting to appreciate more and more, and I hope you'll check it out if you all don't have already. These are some great movies. It's a great genre, and I could keep on talking, so I'm just gonna end it here. Um, Stay tuned for more gameplay of the movies, and of course, in a week, you'll get another movie review video. See you then. Bye.